Okay, what is up, Kaetram players? Today I will bringing you a combat guide to help you get the highest XP rates possible in combat and level up to eventually slay bosses. For combat, there are three options. There is magic, archery, and the melee skills. Archery, your damage is determined by your archery level and the gear that you're using. For melee, you have strength and accuracy. The height of your attack is based on your strength. So that is like the total damage that you deal with a hit. And your accuracy determines your hit chance. So whether the hit is going to be deal damage or not. For magic and archery, your damage is and accuracy is both based on the level of the skill. So you want to just focus on getting them as high as possible. And for melee, the most important thing is your strength level, because if you have good accuracy on an enemy, uh, your accuracy will only marginally boost your DPS. So getting higher hits is more important. For magic, you can use a wand. For archery, you use a bow and arrows. And for melee, you can use swords, battle axes, etc. There's more information about the skill available if you click on the skill in your skill menu and click the question mark. You can see all the levels that you need for each bow. That can be really helpful. And also for the arrows, you see the level that they are. In general, you want to, of course, use the highest tier of weapon possible. But in the early game, it can be hard to obtain them from bosses or from skilling because you don't have the levels. Go to the Stonk Exchange and see if you can buy them there. And also, you can use the global chat and just ask other players to maybe craft a weapon for you that they have level, and just give them some money to tank them to get the highest XP possible. Now, when it comes to training and where to train, there are a couple important factors. One is you want to deal as much damage as possible, because your damage is completely your damage determines your XP per hour, because damage is equal to the amount of XP that you get. So you always want to get as much DPS, deal as much damage to monsters to achieve the highest amount of XP possible. How it works is when you deal damage, 25% of the XP you get gets turned into health XP, and the rest of the XP is determined by the attack style that you use. You see this sword, Timeless Glaive that I have equipped, has three attack styles. One is stab, which gains accuracy XP. One is slash, which gains you strength XP. And one is defensive, which gains you defense XP. For melee, it is really important to get high strength. So yeah, you want to basically always get your strength as high as possible, and only get accuracy if it can give you a weapon upgrade. And the same is for archery and magic, because if I equip a bow, I see I have three options: accurate, increased accuracy; fast, increased speed; and long range is long range plus defense XP. You always want to use either fast or accurate when you start out, because you really want a high archery level before you level your defense. Because if you have high archery level, you will deal more damage, you will get more XP, so it becomes much easier to train your defense later on. It doesn't mean that you should never level defense, but early on, to get more DPS, I would recommend focusing firstly on one of the combat skills, and then using your highest combat skill, your highest DPS method, to increase your defense level later on. Because defense does really help, but it will not increase your XP rate, it will just allow you to live longer. And in the method that we're going to use, you will not use much food, and you'll be able to heal up regularly, so it will not be an issue to have a little bit lower defense. Okay, Now that we have the basics out of the way, there are some boosts that can greatly increase your XP per hour and greatly increase your damage. So those are potions. I have them here in my inventory. There's archery potion and super archery potions. The super one are a lot better than the normal one, but the normal one, if you only have access to this one, it already boosts your skill for quite some time. If I drink it, you will see that it appears above my head, and also in the buff bar, you see that for 3 minutes I have an archery boost that decays over time. So you see now already the boost is only 90% effective after some seconds. So it's always good to have like a boost running because it will greatly increase your DPS. The boosts that are important to use are the archery boost, the strength boost, and the super magic boost. Magic is in a, yeah, they recently reworked it, so the only thing that matters for damage is your level, so this one is less important. And the super archery potion and the defense potions, they are, they still help, but they're not as must have because they don't improve your DPS as much. So I wouldn't waste them on leveling my skill. I would just focus on getting the super potions that boost your DPS. Um, Now, there's one more thing. There is the divinity skill. Divinity can increase your DPS and so your XP per hour by a lot. This is the divinity menu, which contains all the buffs. The ones that are gonna greatly improve your DPS are the strength one. Strength boost increases strength by 10% and 20%. So basically, it's gonna increase your max hit by 20%. So this is like a 10% XP boost if you have this active. It does drain your divinity points over time, but it will greatly increase your XP per hour. Then there is the archery boost and super archery boosts, and the magic boost and super magic boost. You want to use the highest one you have possible to get the highest amount of DPS. And these ones are really good because they increase your archery damage and also your archery accuracy and magic damage and magic accuracy by a lot. Well, the mage one only increases accuracy, but the archery one increases your damage too. Um, so this one is really, really good because you get a lot of extra DPS. Then once you get really high level, there is Divine Blessing, and it boosts all of your offensive stats by 30%. And this one is really, really good, especially for melee because it is a higher percentage, of course, so it boosts your damage even more. And it also boosts your accuracy as well. So you get like insane DPS. It's really, really good. Then for protections, if you're farming somewhere and you're killing a mob that deals a lot of damage, there are also protective divinities. Protect from melee, protect from archery, and protect from magic. And these really reduce the damage you get from attacks by a lot. So it can help, but in general, these are defensive. So they don't increase your XP per hour if you're farming for XP. Now, those are the basics. So basically, you want to train your like damage dealing skills as first. Use potions and divinity, and that will get you the best XP per hour possible. Now, we're starting out at level 1. Where do we start farming? The most important thing is that when you deal damage, your attacks actually hit. So when you start out, you arrive here at the programmer's house out of Mudwitch. You want to start with probably killing some rats and some low-level mobs until you level up a little bit. But the best thing to farm until like level probably like 20-ish is probably these butterflies here until you have a max hit and really good accuracy on them, and the XP is kind of slowing down because you're one-shotting them all the time, because they have really low defense and a little bit of HP, so you can just attack them and probably pretty much one-shot them, and you will get a lot of XP per hour here. And the nice thing is this is close to the fountain, and the fountain can recharge your HP and your mana. And you're really close to a divinity altar, so you can recharge your divinities. Um, Once you level up a bit, pretty much, if you want the maximum amount of XP, you want to teleport to the kingdom of Kaetram. You can also get there by walking. Sorry, I had to sneeze for a bit. You can also get there by walking through the desert, to the south through Lakes World, to the kingdom. There's a fountain here. I'll teleport there now. Um, and in this fountain, if you farm near here, there are a lot of mobs around that have a little bit more HP. So it can really help to farm here because you will be able to like it will be a little bit more AFK. The mobs will have more HP, so you're capping out your max hit a little bit less often. And yeah, you will just have greater XP per hour here. The only issue is there's no divinity altar here. So if you are using, if you're able to like survive a little bit because you have some better gear, you can also farm here near the church, because here you can go in, recharge your divinity, and get back on the map with more attacks. So for example, if I use a super potion and I just attack these slimes, I'm gonna hit probably pretty high. Yeah, just like that. And this is really good XP per hour until you notice that you have like really good accuracy on these mobs. You're like one-shotting them like I'm now. At some point you think, okay, yeah, this is going to, it's slowing a bit down. You will notice it because you're pretty much capped by the spawns and stuff is dying too quickly. Then you notice, okay, know that okay, it's time to move to a higher level spot. But you want to stay at low level spots for a while because all that matters is the damage that you deal. So if you have bad accuracy and you're on enemy mobs, you will get slow XP, and yeah, it will go, it will fuck you up. Um, then the next area is Duvik, but we have a teleport cooldown, so for the next 3 minutes we'll talk about enchantments. On weapons and gear, you can have enchantments. Um, the only useful enchants for getting XP are for melee the critical 5, pretty much, because this increases your DPS by like I think it's like 5%, maybe a bit more or a bit less. It depends on how much you hit the mob and your gear and how much HP the mobs have. Because if you get a crit, you will deal twice the amount of damage, and it will greatly improve your XP by like probably from what I tested like 5%. So crit 5 is really, really good. Then there's lifesteal, which allows you to sustain more, so you have to heal less often at a fountain. And these two are the most important. Enchantments are really expensive, so in the early game, if you can buy like enchanted gear from someone, you should like for like a good price. If it's very cheap, you can do it. But in general, you want to wait with enchanting until you're like have endgame gear because it is really, really expensive. Um, this enchant would probably cost like more than 1,000,000 gold. So and the weapon itself is only like probably like 100k, depending on who you buy it from. Then there is for magic, you have mana steal, which can be helpful because you can sustain longer, and stun. Stun is mostly a bossing enchant because it stuns the enemy, so it can be annoying because um, the mob stops walking, so it's harder to keep it in range when you're kiting mobs. And for archery, there is also the stun enchant. That's really good. And also magic quiver. And the magic quiver makes it so you use less arrows. Um, let's see how we're doing on the spawn time. 1 more minute. Okay. Then as far when you're farming, of course the mobs can drop stuff that you need. All mobs drop shards and divinity. I'll just take them out right now. These These are the items that you should collect because and not use because they're worth a lot of money. These divinity souls, they can be sacrificed at an altar. The best altar is in the wastelands. Um, so if you're in the main world, this is Mudwitch where you start out, and you eventually go all the way to Duvik, where we're going next. You can go up into the wasteland. This is like a dangerous PvP zone. And up here somewhere is a secret altar that gives double XP for divinity souls. So that's where you want to use them basically. Well, now that we have finished our teleport cooldown, we can warp to Duvik, which is the ice area on the map. And this is our last XP per hour spot, and this is the best XP in the game. You can get like hundreds of thousands of XP per hour here. Like, if I remember correctly, when I tried it, it was like 220k, 220,000 XP per hour. So what you do to get the best XP possible is firstly you get potions. So like for melee, you get a super strength potion. You put your attack style on strength because it will deal a little bit more damage. You get some divinity points, and you will activate your best divinity. And you either kill these frozen bats here. If you stand in melee range, they will not freeze you. With a melee like with a sword or like a melee range weapon, they will attack with melee and they will not freeze you. And this is like insane DPS, especially if you use super strength potion. You'll be able to hit really high. And here you have a chance of getting Witch Staff of the Moon, which is the best staff in the game. What you can also do, you see my divinity is draining pretty quickly, is go in front of the bank. There's a trap door here. And here there are ice vultures, which drop feathers, which can be useful if you're like an archer and you want to get more feathers. And there are mini knights. They deal a lot of damage, but since you're very close to the fountain, actually, you just go up the ladder and heal. It's probably fine. And what you can do is also target multiple at the same time if you're a bit higher level. Multiple enemies and just AFK because auto retaliate will target the next enemy when you kill the first one. So you're not wasting any time. And farming here, because it's close to the fountain and to especially the divinity altar, because you want to use divinity because it increases your DPS by a lot, is the best XP per hour in the game. The only issue is these mobs, they don't have drops that are insanely good or insanely good money. So I will make another video about like money making in Kaetram and what some early, mid game and end game methods are to making good money. Okay, well, thanks for watching. This is basically it. So just keep attacking these mobs. Also down in this cave are a little bit more mobs. And whenever your divinity starts to run out, you want to run back to the altar to recharge your points. If you're really like trying hard, you can use super potions and like move speed boosting gear like a bunny helmet and swift boots to get to the altar faster, or just farm the bats outside so that you're even faster. Yeah, basically, yeah, good luck on your grind, and when you finally become like really high level, you can you will have a much easier time killing bosses. You will get more boss kills per hour, more XP per hour. But the reason why this is good XP per hour and bossing not is because when you're killing a boss, you kill the boss and then you have to wait until it respawns. And waiting for respawns takes a lot of time. So it might feel like you are getting a lot of XP, but the XP per hour at bossing is like a lot slower than just killing mobs, because all you need to do to get XP is deal damage. Yeah, good luck on your grind, and see you in the next video.